it was in 2011, and I was doing an MBA, specializing in aviation management. And before I finished my MBA, the university asked me to deliver a guest lecture to the next class coming up, on aviation management. And I said, well, I don't know much about this. Why would I be able to deliver this lecture? And I said, but you've got this experience. And I just stood up and told stories and explained things by way of example, by way of case studies. And I really enjoyed it. And I got great feedback from the class. And that's been my approach since then. I don't see myself as an academic. I see myself that's been through quite a few scrapes, a lot of different experiences, and my lectures tend to be stories and examples of what I've encountered, and hopefully something that can be of value to the student who's watching to say, gosh, yeah, I had that experience last week. I might have handled it differently, or if that happens to me, I'll maybe know a bit better how to handle it. And it's something that I really enjoy. And it's quite funny when you stand in front of a class, whether in person or virtually, I don't realize sometimes the number of stories I've got in my back pocket, things I've experienced that might be of value. So it's quite enjoyable like that. So I don't feel I'm teaching. I feel I'm just storytelling. But hopefully within there's good experiences for people to latch onto and gain value from. I mean, it's obviously better in front of people because I'm a people person and you can get reaction. And but at the same time, I think the digital model is fabulous for the student because it removes geography from the equation. They can learn when it suits them, and at the pace that suits them as well. And I've gotten great feedback within lectures. It is online and maybe just little messages or questions, but the engagement is still there. People want to learn and they want to maybe challenge you. They want to find out a little bit more about a particular subject. So it's been different, but this is reality now, and I think it's the way forward. If I had an opportunity to learn at all, it would have benefited me, because when I started off, there weren't courses in aviation. You couldn't. Aeroclass didn't exist. IATA weren't even doing courses. So there was no actual training. All the training was on the job, learning from others who had gone before. And it's quite interesting. When I did my MBA, one of the things I learned within the MBA was all about fleet planning. But I had been 5 years at that stage deciding on fleet decisions with Aer Lingus, but I hadn't had the education. So I said, that's the wrong way around. I wish I'd known this before. I probably could have made far better decisions. So what's fantastic at the moment for people entering the business is the wide array and variety of courses available, particularly with Aeroclass, that they can really tune into at their own leisure and pick and choose what's good for them. And I think you're getting now a much more educated workforce coming into the industry, unlike when I joined, where it was really learning on the job. I think the first one is an understanding of the complexity and the fragility of the business. I mean, this is an industry with very thin margins, affected by shocks externally all the time, and an industry where airlines have to spend huge amounts of money regularly to replace their aircraft. So that's one. The second one really, I suppose, is an understanding of how interdependent the industry is. It's an ecosystem of airlines, of regulators, of airports, and how they all really need to work together to be able to get those passengers and their bags from A to B. And I think finally, the third piece is the importance for airlines to decide what kind of airline they want to be. So what's their strategy? What's their business model? Because that'll determine what airplanes they buy, how they sell their seats, the airports they operate to. Those three, I suppose, takeaways would encapsulate a lot of what's in the course. But I think it's very important that it really is giving people an overview of the industry. And I think it's something that we're all curious about outside. We all go to parties and meet friends and they're asking you this and that. So it does answer a lot of questions, but I think it's about giving the learner the fundamentals of what makes this industry actually tick.